Hello, friends. December 3rd, 2020. This is swatting. I've titled this video Swatting 28 and other updates in the news. And it's 6 o'clock p.m. my time. So I received a call today about 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon about my whereabouts. And somebody said they were going to go shoot up a school under my name. And so, the sheriff didn't come out, which is great because I answered my phone and all crisis averted. Yeah. And then another law enforcement agency called me also. Yeah. So then, about an hour ago, there was a break in the story. The person doing the swatting contacted me on Discord and told me they're doing it because I talk about Israel doing 9/11. Well, they shouldn't have done 9/11. And he said he's just going to continue to swat me, which is ridiculous. Um, this person's in Israel who's doing this, and if if law enforcement's watching this video, we do have FBI, I believe, in Israel. And if Israel wants to have good relations with America, their citizens cannot be calling in bomb threats and swatting American citizens. It ruins the bond between America and Israel. It makes Jews look horrible. I'm a Jew myself, so we got another Jew calling in attacks on an American Jew. And it just makes Jews look terrible. And they don't need to look any more bad than they do right now. With cancel culture, if you want to know, just criticize whoever rules over you. What is it? If you want to know who rules over you, just criticize them. Look at Kanye West, what's happening to him. And now we're shifting to the news. So I listened to Elon Musk on an audio interview about why he pulled Kanye West. And when Kanye West uploaded the photo for the sex cult, Rami Ipe, and it looks like a Star of David with a Nazi symbol in the middle. And this is a sex cult run by Jews, not Nazis, run by Jews since 1971, and they're into pedophilia. And Elon Musk is an honorary member. I also republished that photo that same night to a journalist telling her how that's a sex cult. It's not Nazism, but always looking to be the victim is kind of where we're at. And, either we have free speech or we don't. And, free speech is a two-way street. How about that? It's Raelism, Raelism, a sex cult with liberal rules. And Marissa Kabas was truly fuck all this, acting. She's not a victim, but she's acting like a victim, righteous indignation, because she's a Jewish lady and she's worried that people might find out the truth that Jews want to control everybody. They want to be the victim forever. However, you know who were more victims in World War II? Christians. 79 million Christians died in World War II and 6 million Jews. The Nazis kept accurate records of everything but the Holocaust. So, I don't care. Are we going to move forward with our lives? Are we going to quit being a prison planet? Are we going to quit being a society that doesn't get things done in government? Apparently, Joe Biden had to remind everybody the Holocaust did happen. Yeah, labor camps happened. That's what happened. Labor camps happened, and people were murdered there too. Okay, great. It's the past. Get over it. Let's move forward. All right, get over it. 79 million Christians died, 6 million Jews died. Get over it. Are we going to make sure we don't right the wrongs of World War II? Actually, we're not, because we're in war right now with Ukraine. We're giving you, every time we give Ukraine money, it kills more Ukrainians. 200,000 Ukrainians have died, and 50, 60,000 Russians have died. Now Ukraine is suffering through their terrible winters with hardly any electricity and always worried about more war. Some good news, just the French president Macron, I'm probably saying his name wrong, he went and said, we got to find a way to keep NATO off of Russia's doorstep and to broker peace in Kiev. Yeah. I was like, what? He's being reasonable, like a good leader. What happened to him? He's off the narrative. Let me find where he says this. Because, that is what good leadership is. Finding peaceful solutions, finding ways to end conflict. Nobody's benefiting from this war. No, except the people who profit from making weapons and the banks, and then the people who will do the rebuilding of Ukraine. They'll be profiting from it. For what? Farmland? What a terrible investment for us. Meanwhile, we're not investing in America. Sorry, it's going to take me a minute to find it. I'm scrolling here at Politically Incorrect. Oh, there's a book, Behold a Pale Horse. Everything written in that book is happening right now. I didn't get my Twitter back today, I guess, because Twitter has, I found it, Twitter has less employees to restore accounts. They'll take their sweet time. Okay, Macron, we need to remove NATO from Russia's doorstep. Macron says new security architecture should give guarantees for Russia. The West should consider how to respond to Russia's need for security guarantees if Vladimir Putin agrees to negotiate to the end of the war in Ukraine. French President Emmanuel said that. So, that's super level-headed, reasonable. I don't think France is part of the NATO, but I don't think America is going to stand for that. America, we want endless war. We want endless war. We want endless war. We just released the B-21 stealth bomber the other day. Like, why do we need another one? Because of more endless wars. U.S. diplomats in China subjected to anal swab testing for COVID-19. State Department. Bend over. Friendly reminder that the feds literally took it up the ass from China. Bummer. I'm just reading news headlines. Let me go to the news. I'll sort it on a reply count. I was on bump order. And I can easily read comments tonight. I'm not on the smartphone. Adam, hello. Yeah, the meaning of Wayne is wagon builder or wagon driver. And You can drive the wagon. That is our country, Wayne. Wayne, 2024. Yeah, wagon maker. And I drive a wagon. How ironic, right? Life is weird. That is so weird. God, that's so weird. I never put my actual name to the car I'm driving. I rearranged my room today. The bed has been turned 90 degrees. Oh, okay. So why does America treat drug addicts like shit? Why does America criminalize addicts rather than treating and rehabbing them? Why does America treat addicts as criminals rather than mentally ill people? Why is America so ferociously opposed to decriminalizing drugs even though it works? Well, there's the business of cops and robbers, and it's cops and drug addicts. So the cops make so much money arresting people and putting them in prison. So the prison industrial system, and that's just the answer right there. Just so much money is made in harming people. I got a drunk driving in 2009. There's a funny meme. Don't drink and drive. It'll ruin your life. Or I'll do it for you. And after my drunk driving, I didn't drive for 5 years, and it ruined a good chunk of my life. Instead of them letting me, go to rehab, giving me time to go to AA and get sober, everything happened so fast. Boom! I ended up having a warrant for 3 years, and it just made life absolutely difficult. Didn't stop me from drinking, but what they did do was fuck up my life. 10 ways from Sunday. Hmm. Yeah, Elon says he wanted to punch Kanye after seeing the swastika tweet. And so his excuse was it incites people to violence. Kanye didn't say anything that was insightful for violence. It's Elon Musk projecting his violent nature upon Kanye. So Elon Musk has got an anger management problem. I mean, it's like you show a cross to the Dracula, a vampire. They're like, ah. Well, show a swastika to Elon, and he recoils. Oh boy, yeah, it's Elon's company. He can do whatever he wants, but it's not free speech. It's not fair that I got booted off for showing the journalist that it's part of a sex club. I wasn't promoting Nazism, like whatever. Another thread about Macron. We need to prepare for peace talks. What guarantees will we give Russia? Macron called on the West to prepare for peace talks. According to French President Emmanuel, the West should start preparing for peace talks with Russia and consider what security guarantees it'll offer. I guess he's saying this to say, well, at least he tried before they escalate it. The Idaho murder. What a shame, right? 3 beautiful young women and some guy. Um, hmm. Well, we'll talk about it briefly. I've only read a little bit. Apparently, they have a lot of parties at the house, like 40 and 50 people, which is, kind of normal for some college kids sometime. And I used to have a lot of parties at my apartment because I live with 2 girls, and not like big parties, just maybe 10 people kind of thing. Never more than 10. But it was pretty frequent. We did drinking every weekend and stuff. And but maybe they were doing drugs. Maybe there was a criminal element. Kids today they experiment with a lot of drugs, and maybe there was some illegal substances there. And with that comes people who are black market, and maybe they fell in love with the beautiful women, and they rebuffed their advances, and came back with a knife. I hope law enforcement's smart enough to check for you know cell phones at that location during the time of the murder. I was reading one of the threads. Also, check for cell phones in the region that were turned off a few hours before, then turned back on a few hours later. So the murderer leaves the phone at home, turns it off. He goes to the location, does the murder, gets back home, and turns the phone on. Then see if that person exhibits that behavior on a regular basis. So, basically, most people's phone is on 24 hours a day unless the battery goes dead. So, all those all that information is the cellular phone company has it. Um, so as a computer programmer, I could write a query and say, well, what is the uptime of the phone that turned off for 4 hours on that day? And then does this person have a habit of turning off their phone for a few hours every day? Oh, look at they don't have that habit. So why? Boom. Oh, that person got arrested. One of the moms got arrested for drugs a couple days later. I hope they catch the killer. Let's see if anybody's got comments on it. Take the reins, Wayne. Take the reins. I think what you mean. I guess what you mean is just I'm doing a good job. I'm just trying to see if there's any more interesting things here to read. Oh, this was kind of a bummer. China shipping people to camps in cattle trucks. These are legitimate. It looks like they're two-story cattle trucks, or it looks like it's 3 stories, and the people are shoved in there like animals. Then it shows Shanghai shut down and all this trash on the street, and them forcibly removing somebody from their home. 2 guys in white outfits fighting with a person on the couch. It shows another family in like a little shipping container receiving food by a little door in the under the window, and the guy on the outside opens a door, puts food in, and then the person on the inside opens a door. So it's a double doored, and there's a child in there, and so these people are living in just like a shipping container. Oh, this looks crazy. And I just view this as control. Who knows? Oh, this is some really good news here. Happening. GOP to prosecute former Twitter executives for election interference. Shit's about to go down. So that one is good information there. The GOP is going to prosecute them. That's a crime. You can't be interfering with elections like they did. Joe Biden's campaign team told Twitter to delete tweets and to ban people, including the actor. Oh, what's his name? James Woods. And he talked about that on Fox News yesterday. Oh, Peterson, the psychologist from Canada who had a drug habit, always giving the big advice, but not taking it himself. Oh, he says, at the moment, West needs to be protected from himself. I wouldn't be surprised if they do try to kill him. That's such bullshit. That's cancel culture again. That's the ultimate cancel culture. And that's what his personal trainer said. I could, I like with a phone call, I could have you zombied out and you won't get to see your kids anymore. So, that's That's fucked up. And it just shows how fucked up this group of this mafia, this global mafia is sadistic. And this can't go on forever. Tuna Bros, cheap, versatile, delicious. When are you going to take the pill, Anon? I love tuna fish. I don't buy it in water. I buy it in vegetable oil because um, I like the vegetable oil, but maybe there's reasons you shouldn't have vegetable oil. It's not cooked vegetable oil, so Moloch asks for a sacrifice. What will you offer? The Democratic Party. Adam, Ross, and Kanye are going to debate next week, and Hassan has stepped up to coach Adam. I don't know who these people are, so. Hmm. Well, here's a picture of Kanye in the American flag jacket. It goes from being the wealthiest musician in human history to only worth 400 million in 50 days. Kanye will be bankrupt by the end of the year. My people make my people will make sure of this. You crossed the line, Kanye. Okay, so he's saying he's Jewish and that he is actively trying to destroy this person's life. That is not good behavior. That is not do unto others as you would want done unto you. That is sadistic, very bad behavior. And this is what creates animosity against Jewish people. Jewish people aren't weak. They're a privileged class. They're a ruling class, and they're breaking the law. So it's only currently at the moment they're getting away with it. But we have laws against these types of attacks. We have laws against interfering with elections. So, you know, the end of your manipulation is coming. Nobody wants to live in this bullshit world where free speech doesn't exist. Oh, just for my friends in Israel. Israel did 9/11, and America is going to prosecute you someday. The facts are there. They just haven't prosecuted you. Elon Musk says, just a note to thank advertisers for returning to Twitter. Crisis averted. Oh, we're halfway down the list here. Picture of Obama, great president or greatest president? Neither. Obama, you know, he made some black people happy for a while, but he started the war in Syria. Yeah. Here's poll approved books. Behold a Pale Horse. Let's see what other books are in there. I've listened on audiobook to Behold a Pale Horse. It's on YouTube. So if you want to learn about this book, Behold a Pale Horse is on YouTube in audiobook format for free. LTR, Mr. Lambright, what do you think about Kanye's latest interview with Alex Jones? Well, I did talk about that in other videos a few days ago, and I'll give you a brief. It was good that he showed up. He's got a lot of passion, and if he wants to be president, he just because you said words, you know, people say it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And when you can see somebody's facial inflections, you communicate authenticity. And by covering his face, he shot himself in the foot because he isn't communicating his authenticity to the audience. And so never wear the mask again. Who wears masks in society? Robbers, not politicians. Terrorists wear masks, bank robbers, people who want to commit crimes wear a mask. So he associated himself with committing a crime. And I didn't like his uh, Netanyahu. He was trying to be a comedian, and he said, and even admitted he only knew about Netanyahu for 2 weeks. So he's talking a lot of shit about somebody who knew nothing about, and it didn't add value to his value proposition for America. Because people are, that's what you do as a politician. Like Wayne, me, if I decide to run, um, I have a laundry list of things I want to accomplish for America. So they'll say Wayne's got 30 things, Trump's got 3, and Kanye's got Jesus. Like we don't know what we when you don't know anything about the politician, their character is paramount. And character can take a person a long way. They can be comically funny, they can be charming, they can be beautiful. Um, I like that Nick was there. Nick is well spoken. He's on message, which is he's trying to rally he's trying to create a Christian political party, which is really smart. And he tries to hold Christians to Christian values, which he should. This is why I left Christianity, because the Christians I know don't exhibit Christian values. They exhibit the values of Satan, unfortunately. And that's why I converted to Judaism, because my Jewish friends act and think like my Christian friends didn't. So I got more from my Jewish friends as far as loving their neighbor, their brothers and sisters. Uh, when you do something, it's for the betterment of the world, to help society. So, we Christians are, I'm going to generalize, are collectively bankrupt in America. They're morally bankrupt. They might go to church on Sunday, but when they get home at noon, they're watching porn. They're just committing all these crimes. Like, I mean, I watch porn, but they're just not they're not they're just not doing it like they used to. They're Christians in name only. Hmm. Uh, Poll a pirate of politically incorrect approved books. One's called In the Fed by Ron Paul. Another one, Empire Beneath the Sky by Stephen Quayle. It looks like it's about Nazi UFOs. Who Built the Moon? Yes. I have seen, by Christopher Knight, Who Built the Moon, and Alan Butler. I've seen a 1-hour documentary of the guys who wrote this book talking about why they wrote the book. Really fascinating. Mein Kampf. I've listened to Mein Kampf on YouTube. It's there for audiobook enjoyment. And oh wow. There's a picture of a mantis alien, mantis pencil drawing, and one of the they say the aliens who built the pyramids of Egypt are praying mantis looking. Well, Napoleon, Industrial Society and Its Future, the Manifesto by what's his name, the Unabomber guy. Oh, I think this one here is just a minute. No, it's not what I'm thinking. I was thinking it was the one about Jews. Doesn't matter. How is it that these two countries dominate popular culture these days? Anime and K-pop, Japan and Korea. They don't populate my culture. I never even, they're people who are drunk with celebrityism and, pop music. That's kinda normal for teenagers to they're trying to learn what music's out there, and it's easy for them to get hooked by things that are considered, popular amongst their peers. Oh, here's a picture of police with it says, "The militarization of police. How did we get here in America? How do these guys go from pillars of the community to the biggest gangs standing army in the country?" Well, it was, I think, a long plan to militarize our police. They knew what they the reason they wanna disarm the population is because what they're gonna do to the population, and the population would wanna shoot them for what they're about to do to us. Here, it shows some marijuana. Is there a single good reason as to why marijuana should be illegal? Nope. Miracle Cures helps everybody. You can grow it yourself. You don't put on weight. Um, they found rocks from Mars with cannabis, THC in it, and the rumors of aliens like smoking weed also. See if there's any comments here. No, I mean you can shoot some comments in there if you want after I read something. I'll come back and look at it. Uh, Why doesn't Russia send their elite forces into Ukraine? Because it's a meat grinder. It's a slow war. It's meant to drain the resources of Ukraine and wear them out. And they're mostly doing artillery barrages back and forth. So it's not close combat like in I mean, it is in an urban setting, but there's really no reason to win. And it's winter. So let the elements wear out the Ukrainians. Like I think well, and it's not good for the Russians, but Russia's got a lot of people they can throw at this, so they've got more resources than Ukraine. There's a clothing brand here called Blensagia, Blonde Saga, Blensagia, and they had some pictures of children with a teddy bear, but in BSD stuff, and they're saying it was kinda creepy and looked like sex trafficking, and maybe it is. Maybe it is. I mean, I saw the photos, it kinda did seem to be inappropriate, and it's probably a really expensive clothing brand for rappers and nouveau riche people. See if anybody no. Well, we're getting towards the end here. Oh, it didn't have to end like this. Happening in general. Post your happening predictions here. Well, uh, Russia issues stern warning to NATO, don't drag India into it. Hmm. Well, Russia's made threats all year long. Don't arm Ukraine. Don't give them longer range weapons. We're not afraid to use nuclear bombs. And I do think they're gonna use a nuclear bomb somewhere, and then America might use a few nukes just in that region, just 1 or 2, just to, each side will get a black eye, and then the world might say, "Whoa, pump the brakes on those nukes," 'cause, 5 years ago, we reinvested in remanufacturing tactical nuclear weapons, and which means smaller, and they have something called dial-a-yield, so you can choose how big of a blast you want, and so they intend on using them. When a police buys riot gear, well, they're gonna have riots. They make weapons for things they plan on doing. So I really think this is the big push, honestly. I think NATO, um, and the New World Order has one I mean, they wanna fight 2 NATO wants to fight Russia. They wanna dominate Russia. Russia's got so many resources. They've got lumber, natural gas, and oil. Those are the biggies right there. Oh, and farmland. So, and it's huge. 7 times the size of America, something like that. Yeah, might be 7 times. It's big. Um, they cut Russia off from the banking system, SWIFT. However, Russia and China are just trading currency, and, so they're not stopping Russia. Russia's like, "Fuck you, Western people. The world doesn't revolve around you. You're just not that special, America, and we aren't. America is just not that special. We are the absolute bullies to the world. Like cancel culture, what you see going on social media, that's what happens on a geopolitical level. That if you don't do what America says, we're going to bomb you." It's like the picture of Jesus knocking on the door of the cartoon. Who is it? It's Jesus. What do you want? To tell you what I'm gonna do to you if you don't open the door. Yeah. Russia accused NATO of trying to drag India into what it called an anti-Russian, anti-Chinese alliance at a time when he said the West was attempting to squeeze out Russia's influence. Yeah. You know, uh, on a happening level, let's be optimistic here. Maybe they could pull the alien card and say, "Look at the aliens are here. They realize we're on the threat of World War III, and they promise if we agree to not do World War III, the aliens will help us." That could happen. They say don't get on the alien ship no matter what. I'm not going on that first alien ship at all. Well, it looks like we're at the end of politically incorrect. Let's see if any more comments here. 38 minutes. Nope, we've reached the end. Well, swatting 28. Luckily, I got a good communication with the sheriff's department. I talked to them for 16 minutes. I told him about the idea for the password. So next time somebody calls and says they're Wayne Lambright, oh, really? Do you have the password? He's like, that's a good idea. He said he's going to pass it around to the other guys and see how maybe we could implement that. And yeah, I just covered some of the things I keep forgetting to bring up, like Anthony but anyway, and the sheriff was like, "It is the way it is," and I'm like, "Yeah, I know, it's okay," and he asked me how I'm doing, "Is it cold out there?" And I told him I'm actually like a polar bear, so I'm a pretty hardy guy, so winters I do I'm actually a strong dude. I'm strong for the winters, I'm strong for the summers. I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of myself. And, today I did a lot of work. Did you see my sled for the car? On my Instagram. Instagram.com/Wayne Lambright is where I'm at. You can see videos and photos, and it turned out really good. I'm happy with it. Tomorrow, I'm gonna put the motorcycle on the roof of the Mercedes just as an example. I'll live stream it so you all can see it happening in live time, and I bet you once the motorcycle's at the back of the car, I'll bring it up and I'll woo, lay it down, like, that whole process, and then on the roof of the Mercedes, 7 minutes, and then 3 minutes to take it off. That's my prediction, and the benefit of the sled is I'm gonna be on the hunt for broken motorcycles. They're everywhere. 250 bucks, 300 bucks, and anything that used to go on the road with a license, um, is selling for 2,500 to $3,000. And a lot of these bikes that I think are ugly are cool for, 70s and 80s, like a CB 350 Honda. Those were cool bikes in the 70s. But most people don't know how to rebuild carburetors, and I've rebuilt zillions of carburetors. A lot of them have carburetor problems because I guess there was some fuel that made them gummy, and the seals leak and they crack, and then they got 4 carburetors, and you got to take them all apart and put in new O-rings and put them in, parts cleaners and wash them and spray clean them and nobody wants to do that work. So I'm willing to do that work. Maybe even pull the heads off and hone the cylinders, kind of rebuild the motor, maybe get 5 grand for it. That's shit I want to do. And I'm choosing, I'm in theory here, I'm choosing motorcycles because people who ride motorcycles make poor financial decisions. So that's pretty cunning of me to be going after weak fish with lots of money in the pockets. It's a business. Okay, friends, let's call it short. Enjoy your Saturday night. It's only not even 7 o'clock yet. Have a wonderful time, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.